Hello everyone, Lord Daimyo here, and this is my review for Candy Flurry manga chapter number 10. Oh my goodness, we just have to start this off immediately because this chapter was so good. I think the best chapter yet. So, let's just go over it page by page because there's a lot in here. We see the popcorn user defeated by Tsumugi, and like I said before, it's tough saying popcorn user, but we've gotten some confirmation that we're going to get this popcorn user's name later, and I'm going to be doing a video about that later this week, so make sure you check that out. Anyways, Tsumugi's defeated him, and she says, "How do you know I was just the scapegoat? Do you know the real culprit for destroying Tokyo, like the other Lollipop user?" And he says, "I'm not telling." And she said, "Well, you said you would tell me if you lost." And he said, "No, I didn't." And she said, "Well, it was implied." So, and then he says, "If I do, I'll get a good scolding." So here we go, back again. They're acting like kids, and it's really fun, but it all goes away after this. The popcorn user then lifts his shirt up, and we see tons of kernels strapped around his midsection, like he's going to be a suicide bomber, and says that he's going to set off all these kernels, so blow him and everyone else up, which was insane. And then we see a lot of weird angles, points of view. We see what's going on with Tsumugi and this popcorn user, like sideways, and then all of a sudden, spiderweb catches the both of them, and there's a person with long hair who is just standing on the side of a building. And this is why we were seeing all these weird perspectives, was because it was from his point of view. And he's saying, "Don't try to move. If you struggle more, it'll get you stuck more." And as he's saying all this, he's wrapping up the popcorn user in this web substance. So I first thought maybe this was one of the 5 Stella Entremont, and that this was a member of the Reset with a sweet ability, because this has to be, it's like a spider web, so maybe like bubblegum or something like that, or maybe it actually is just spider web and it's like another Reset tool, who knows. So I thought it was a Reset agent who saw Tsumugi was using her lollipop and is capturing her and, of course, the villain at the same time, and that's why he's wrapping up the villain right now. So, but this turns out not to be the case. So, he says this is why he doesn't like working with the popcorn user. So, apparently this is a villain too. So, is he just taking the popcorn user and escaping? Like, why would he do that, though? He already has Tsumugi defeated. So, and he's like, "It's all over, we're going home." And Tsumugi says, "Wait, you think you can just ignore me and leave?" And she breaks out of this sticky web handily, like so easy. She does it by creating an enormous lollipop, like enormous, the size of this building. And the stick propels her forward, so she breaks free of all of this. And this sticky web guy is like, "Whoa, seriously? Like, shouldn't you be tired from this long fight you were in?" And she's like, "No, you're not getting away." She finally has like a real lead on the culprit of the evil lollipop user. So she's like, "You know who this is too." And these action panels are amazing. Amazing. And she goes back into the building where he is, and he said, "Yeah, I do." And he says, huge info dump on this chapter. It's amazing. He says the one that was responsible for destroying Tokyo is our leader. And he says, "I understand why you think of him as your enemy, but don't worry, you'll meet him soon." And she says, "Tell me now." He says, "Nope. If you're coming after us, be careful. Once my gum's stuck in your hair, it's hard to get off. You've got pretty hair." And she's like, "Gross, that's sexual harassment." So super serious stuff, and then again with the comedy and the kids stuff. But I mean, we now know that this is a gum sweet user. So, I was right in my initial thought, and I'm sure a lot of you were too, thinking that this sticky web was like chewing gum. So he then flees, or he's about to flee, and Tsumugi looks inside of the gum in these spider webs, and there's just kernels all throughout it, which means it's all gonna explode. And there's a huge explosion. Tsumugi's flown out of the building, but she's caught by the gum. But Tsumugi's so awesome that as soon as it was about to explode, she threw one of her lollipops, and the stick is stuck into the wall next to this gum user, and he's got a cut all along his cheek where it had grazed him. And so he's like, what was up with her? She's like a rabid dog. How exhausting, how crazy. So then Tsumugi's like, oh, there's a whole organization of these evil sweet users. And then as she's like stuck in the air with this gum in a net, Misaki shows up. And he's like, what's going on? What happened? And she's like, she tells him, and they pull Umino to the side, but he's still knocked out. And she's like, where are all the other reset agents? And he's like, oh, I assume this situation involved you, so I ran here ahead of everyone else and, came to you first. And so she's like, oh, wow, okay, you're just, a really nice guy, actually, aren't you? And he's like, yeah. So then all the other reset agents show up, including Amina, and Amina asks, hey, what's going on here? And Misaki's like, okay, how can I explain this and cover up for Tsumugi? That, because Amina doesn't know she's the Lollipop user. And then Tsumugi says, Misaki is responsible for all of this. And she says when Umino and her weren't able to fight, he showed up and beat back these villains so hard that they were overwhelmed and fled. And she says, oh, thank you, Misaki. You saved our lives. And he just can't believe that she's doing this. And he's like, how can you lie like this? And Amina's like, lie? And she's like, oh, no, he's just, his wounds from the fierce battle are making him say all this weird stuff. And look, he's passing out, which he is because he's getting so much praise from all these other reset agents going, oh, yeah, he did capture a donut and a macaroon user as soon as he joined the agency. Oh, he's really great. He's really a monster. He's amazing. And Misaki's just his head spinning. He just passes out because he just can't take all the praise and everything. So then it cuts to, I'm assuming, days later, because there's a abandoned subway or abandoned just train station, and within this train are a couple of people, and they're looking at a newspaper, and it says Reset's new star agent. It shows Misaki, and they're saying, oh, Misaki Midori, look, it was your failure. This is the person that beat you, the popcorn user. And he's like, the girl's name is Misaki? And they're like, girl, there's no mention of a lollipop or anything here. They're probably covering it up. And then this last panel shows this guy with shaggy hair, with a pretty cool coat on, licking a lollipop, saying that's fine, this newbie should try her best. It'll make it all the more satisfying when I kill her. So we finally get to see the evil lollipop user, and he says he's gonna kill Tsumugi. I don't know why he would try to kill her when he can just reveal that she's the lollipop user and then get her captured, and then everyone would be like off his trail. So his motives are a little iffy, but he still looks pretty cool. And going back and looking at this subway tunnel, we see actually several people, and who knows who these people are, but it looks really awesome. I'm really excited. This was a really amazing chapter. I mean, just a ton of action, a ton of exposition, info, world building, and it's just great. So I cannot wait to see chapter 11. We only have to wait a week. And I'm predicting that we're just going to go back to the reset agent with Tsumugi and Misaki and everything. And maybe we'll continue with the several day skip, and we will find out that just Umino and Tsumugi they passed the exams, and now they are officially rookies or whatever in the reset agency. And Misaki maybe gets like a promotion to like a 2-star reset agent or whatever. So, but who knows? I'm super excited. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought about Candy Flurry manga chapter number 10. Are you as excited as I am about seeing the overarching villain, whatever his name is, the bad Lollipop user? Let me know in those comments down below. Also, you can follow me on Twitter if you want. Link is in the description down below. I tweet about Candy Flurry and other stuff. I follow everyone back also. But again, thank you very much for watching, and have a fantastic day.